No matter what I try to do, it won't go through their heads.
I called a parent today and I said, just to let you know, your child has an F in my class because they come in and they don't do anything. And then they start screaming. She hung up.
I ultimately decided to leave because I realized I needed an easier job.
Hey everyone, don't waste your time and let's go start this video and watch this video.
I'm just done. I'm done as of today. I have made myself sick all this school year to the point of throwing up, panic attacks, high anxiety, not sleeping, hurting everywhere, and I finally chose myself over this job. I have loved being a teacher for probably about 16 of those 17 years. But I'm not going to make it to the end of this year. Sometimes you get in a situation so toxic that you have to decide whether your health or staying for the kids is worth it. And I decided about 2 weeks ago that it's not anymore. So today is my last day as a teacher.
I have 2 hours left of my school day and I'm leaving because I'm so stressed out. And the students' behavior, their lack of trying, their apathy for school, parents that don't give a
What's happened to the schools today? I've been teaching now for a while. I'm a 36-year veteran now. I went ahead and went back to the classroom, of which I love. I love teaching school. But one of the things I've really noticed that really bothers me is there's no honor among the students. They would rather lie to you. They would rather disrupt you. They would rather act silly in the sense of not wanting to listen, not wanting to take notes, they'd rather talk about nonsense. You know, the conversations about, what happened over the weekend, who broke up with who, why all of that is so much more important than listening to authority. Listening to someone that is trying to have their best interest at heart. But it doesn't seem to matter. You come home at night as a teacher and you ponder these things and you think, have I making any difference at all? What am I doing now? How am I making the difference I thought I would make when the majority of the class won't even be quiet for more than 5 minutes without getting chewed out? Then you realize that when you do take them to the office, the principalship and the administration have changed so much. They're not hard line like they used to be. I take a kid to the office. He's usually back in my room within 5 minutes.
Teachers are supposed to walk into classrooms ready to educate the next generation. But lately, many educators have been walking onto social media for a completely different reason they need to vent. Teachers are talking about disrespect, classroom behavior, difficult parents, burnout, and the pressure they feel every single day. And some of the stories they're sharing are making people ask a serious question. What is actually happening inside America's classrooms? Teaching has always been challenging. But educators say today's job involves much more than standing in front of a classroom and explaining a lesson. Teachers may have to manage dozens of students with completely different personalities and needs, while also handling lesson plans, grading paperwork, technology, parent communication, and school policies. When all of that happens at the same time, even a teacher who genuinely loves their job can become overwhelmed. And that's why social media has become an outlet for educators to share what they normally can't say during the school day. One of the biggest complaints involves classroom behavior. Some teachers say they're dealing with students who have difficulty following instructions, staying focused, or showing basic respect. But this is where the debate becomes complicated. Is student behavior actually getting worse, or are teachers simply facing different challenges because children are growing up in a completely different environment? Technology, social media, changing family dynamics, and different attitudes toward authority can all influence how students behave. And not every student fits the same description. There are millions of hardworking, respectful students who are doing exactly what they're supposed to do.
Anyone out there who thinks that teachers have it easy just because we have time off, I have 2 hours left of my school day and I'm leaving because I'm so stressed out between all the requirements that our district offers and the students' behavior, their lack of trying, their apathy for school, parents that don't give a shit. They don't care. They don't answer phones. They don't discipline their kids, and kids who feel like they're going to commit suicide because they're getting bullied. You have no idea what it's like being a teacher. You have no idea. I don't want to hear a person ever in the history of ever say that this job, we're lucky, we have it easy, we get so much time off. You have zero clue what all it takes to be a teacher.
I'm done. You quit? You're not going to be disrespected by anybody. I don't know who you people think you are, but you don't treat anybody like this. It's not funny.
Here's another reason why teachers are quitting right now. There are no consequences for students. In the state that I teach in, we can't even legally give somebody a detention anymore. I mean, I've had students in the past that have used the N-word, have drawn swastikas and done like little Nazi salutes in class and stuff like that, and they don't do anything about that. It seems like the only thing that kids have any consequence for these days is if they do drugs at school, or they come to school under the influence of drugs or alcohol, or if they get in a fight. This is why teachers are quitting, because you can't punish them anymore, like legally. It's against the law. You can't give them detention. This is what we're dealing with.
A first grade little girl just slapped my third grade student, and when the line supervisors were disciplining her, she said, "Don't worry, my mom must come up here and take care of it." No wonder why teachers are quitting.
I just resigned mid-year as a second-year teacher. The amount of harassment and bullying and the lack of administration support is disturbing. When you have a room full of students who watch your every move as a teacher and seem to have more authority than the adults because mom and dad work in the same district. This has been by far the most unprofessional work environment I've ever worked in. What I thought was supposed to be professional work environment turned into a hostile workplace where I was called abrasive for expecting the students to learn, allowing childish for not knowing an answer when approached by administration, accusing me of something that I did not do, and prideful when administration thought standing up for myself was the incorrect thing to do, when students went home telling things about me that were not true. And that's the scary part. That is the scary part. When a student says things about you that is not true and can ruin a teacher. What do you guys think?
Teachers are trying to tell you that you and your kids are not okay. We're not okay. We're not okay.
This is a real student's paper. I covered up the name because I don't want that is what they completed. In 20 minutes, this is what they completed.
I told them the answer to number 9. 1/4 of the students got it incorrect.
We gamified the curriculum. It's on my board because we played a game. Just to show you, hold on. Gamified the curriculum. Okay? These were their mascots. Okay? Group 3 won, clearly. Okay? But these were their mascots for the groups. Okay? I gamified it. And when I tell you that my principal came in, okay, after we had done the game and they're doing the quiz, and I have a CC class, so I have my gen ed students just going to town. She was like, "Oh my gosh, they're powering through this quiz. It looks like they really know it. Where's the rest of your class?" I'm like, "They're across the hall." Okay, they need to have test accommodations, so they're in another classroom. So she goes to that class with the students who were in here for the game. And she comes back 60 seconds later saying, "Miss D, they are a hot mess. They keep asking me, since the X repeats, is it a function? And I don't know what they're asking. So I'm going to stay over here with these kids. I need you to go across the hall with your CC teacher and answer those questions. They can use a calculator. They can use their notes. They can ask questions. They can have class discussion over there. All of that is test accommodations that we are doing for them. And they did not know, even though we just went over it 5 minutes before they went over to the quiz. They did not know. But let me tell you, I give them typed notes. Let me show you, because no, y'all don't believe us when we be crashing out. You think that we're just making things up because we're just horrible daycare providers for y'all. Typed out. They're typed and given. You think it's our fault somehow, some way. It's still our fault. How? How is it still our fault? The kids are not okay. And it's not the teacher's fault, because we're not babysitters. We are educators, and we're good at what we do. We're good at what we do. We love what we do. And we love your kids. But we do not share custody of raising your children. You have to get on them at home. You have to ask them what they learn. And you got to help them stay focused on studying, because they don't.
School districts are trying to run like companies with the numbers, and it's not the science of education.
Are leaving the profession. I had to take off school today because I'm behind in grading and lesson planning with everything else going on at work. Teaching is the only job where you have to take off work in order to do your work. There's not enough time in the day to get it all done. Teachers are exhausted. I'm taking my time off to work, not to do something fun. So, this is one of those reasons why teachers are leaving.
Baby, listen. Them teachers quitting left and right, and I don't blame them.
At this point, y'all, I just need to start a documentary. There is no way that it's 11:15 and I'm on the brink of tears.
Baby, I know you ain't lying. I went sub for 2 days. The third day, I pulled my children out the school.
Because I want to go home so bad. These kids are horrible. Horrible.
Most of them horrible because of the parents. No accountability whatsoever, baby.
They don't care about learning. The parents don't hold them accountable. They don't make their kids hold themselves accountable. The admin does not hold the parents of the children accountable.
And it's so sad because some of those teachers really want those children to be better. But how can they be better when they don't have the help of the parents? Like, some of these parents are really horrible, y'all. And then they want to send them children to school because they don't want to deal with them.
They say they hold the kids accountable, but they go to the office and they come back and they do the same thing. It's awful.
And it's sad because instead of the teachers getting help from the parents, they get pushback most of the time. Those teachers are tired, y'all. Get your children. Teach your children.
Buddy, why'd you struggle on this quiz? What was hard about it? What was difficult? And they look me dead in my eyes and they say, I'll be honest, I didn't read the passage. What do you mean you didn't read the passage?
A former English teacher going viral after posting a raw and unfiltered farewell video as she leaves the classroom behind after just 3 years. Listen.
A lot of these kids don't know how to read because they have had things read to them, or they can click a button and have something read out loud to them. I just don't think these kids even care. They don't care about making a difference in the world. They don't care about how to have a resume. They don't care how to write a resume. They don't care how to write a cover letter because ChatGPT will just do it for them. And I think that we need to cut off technology from these kids, probably until they go to college.
This is what we're doing to teachers. It is way worse than most people realize. And I already know what you're going to say in the comments. This teacher's this and this teacher's that. I've been a principal for 14 years. I know this teacher very well. She's a friend of mine. I've seen her teach. I've seen her work with kids. I've seen her do amazing things. I've also seen the struggle that she and every other teacher that I know is going through. We don't trust them anymore. And now I know what you're going to say. Well, we can't trust every teacher. That's true of any profession. But here's what I'm going to fight back on. The solution to having a few bad teachers can't be to not trust all the teachers. Most of the good teachers I know have either already quit or are thinking about it.
Then there's another issue teachers frequently mention: parents. Teachers and parents are supposed to work together, but disagreements can happen when a parent believes their child was treated unfairly or doesn't agree with a teacher's decision. From a teacher's perspective, constantly defending classroom decisions can become exhausting. From a parent's perspective, protecting their child is completely natural. The challenge is finding a balance where both sides can communicate without turning every disagreement into a confrontation, because ultimately, the person who benefits most from that cooperation is the student. So why are teachers posting these frustrations online? Part of it may simply be that social media gives people a place to connect with others who understand what they're experiencing. A teacher who feels alone at school can suddenly discover thousands of other educators dealing with similar challenges. But viral videos can also create controversy. One teacher's experience can quickly become a debate about an entire generation of students, parents, or schools. That's why it's important to remember that a short viral clip doesn't represent every classroom in America. The biggest takeaway may be that teachers want people to understand what happens behind the classroom door. They aren't just teaching subjects. They're managing people, emotions, conflicts, expectations, paperwork, and pressure, all while trying to help students succeed. And when teachers repeatedly say they're exhausted, schools should probably listen. So, here's the question. Who do you think needs to change the most: students, parents, teachers, or the education system itself? Tell us your opinion in the comments and keep the conversation respectful.
And this video is made for editorial purpose only. Like and follow and subscribe and comment this video. An interesting part in the video, please comment and like, follow please. Thank you.